So in my last video, I actually shared this app that you actually see here on my screen. This app is called Summarize, and it's basically a way for anybody to take a YouTube video URL. They can paste it in here. So this box right here, they can paste the video link in there. They can hit convert. And what it will do is that it will actually convert it into a 2-minute summary. So in the last video, I actually shared the process of, or really not the process, but I actually shared an overview of the app, how it works. And in this video, not only do I just want to share some of the UI touch-ups I've made in this app, but I actually want to also share my process for actually converting HTML designs into React Native pages so that you can actually transfer designs into your app using AI without losing a lot of the details that you care about. So it's a quick update onto this app here, as you see. So on my screen here, which by the way, the visor, this is the tool that I'm using, it drops some quality. I'm not sure why, but overall you can kind of see that, in the last video, I didn't really have a good empty state. I have a much better empty state. When a video converts, I'm actually going to come here to the history page. And when I open up the history page, I actually updated really the whole kind of text area. So the title is here, the body text. And instead of just having the raw YouTube URL, I actually wrapped it in a button here. So all the summaries now look like that. They're very nice, clean, and uniform. What I've also done here is that I've actually split it up where you can actually see what was transcribed this week or earlier. You also have a history tab with the amount of summaries that you have here. And in the account page where it says buy credits, this paywall screen, I actually improved the look of it in Revenue Cat, so it looks more uniform with the rest of the design. As you see here, the footer for the actual app and the system footer are still kind of different colors. That's something that I'm still working on right now to try and get them to match. So in Android, you can actually, there's a setting that you can use in your Expo app where you can actually kind of make these the same color so it looks a lot more clean. I've been having some trouble with that, but I'm sure I will figure that out here soon. So yeah, with that being said, these are just some of the UI touch-ups that I have made. All right, so enough of that for now. Okay, so here in UX Pilot, right, so I went ahead and I just created these 3 screens just to kind of get the example across. So here in UX Pilot, you can see that I have a sign-up page. I have this page right here, right, how do you plan to use the app? And then I have this home page here. The idea here is that this is just going to be like a simple to-do app. But again, for example's sakes, we're going to go ahead and convert these screens into an Expo app page using artificial intelligence. Okay, so one of the first things that you want to do, so I'm using UX Pilot. Now, even if you use Figma, Figma still has a way where you can export a design as an HTML. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So in this case, I'm just going to come here to export, and then I'm just going to select the HTML option. Now, in my case, just to kind of be ahead of the curve, I've already done that here. So I have the sign up page, the goals page, and the main page is right here. So if I go ahead and open up Cursor, and I'm just going to do npx expo start. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring up my iPhone emulator that I have right here. And once this loads, you're going to be able to see that I just kind of have a default kind of page setup here. So I'm just going to select I for iPhone, and it's going to go ahead and bring up this iPhone right here, and it's going to go ahead and load in right now. Okay, so you can see here that this here is sign up, then I have goals, and then when I continue, it comes to the main page. And if I just hit reload here and bring this back up, it comes back here. So what I've done so far, this is just basically a bare bones Expo installation that I already made. And if you want to know how to do that, if you don't know, I actually created in Notion, I actually have my full mobile, all of my mobile prompts, commands, and everything that I use to set up a project. So if you want that, you can check the link in the description below. But as you see here, I created a tab group for the app and onboarding. So it has the sign up page, goals, and then from here, this tab group here is basically the main pages, right? So again, the idea here is that this sign up page and this goal page, right? We want it to look like this sign up page and this goal page. And then the home screen that it's going to go to is going to be this page here. So if you come here, I actually have this folder that I created called HTMLs. And as you see right now, there's nothing in here. So if I actually just come over to projects, and I'm just going to go to the project that I'm in, this here is the HTMLs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get the files dragged into here. So for downloads, I'm just going to go ahead and just take these files, honestly, and I'm just going to move them right here into HTMLs. So they're right here. So goals, main page, right? So all these HTMLs here is the exact same pages that you saw right here, right? These 3 pages right here. So coming back here into cursor, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually not gonna use the cursor agent here. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and close that. In cursor, I actually have Claude Code installed, and I actually like having both. I like having cursor. I actually have a premium subscription to cursor, and I'm also paying for Claude as well. And obviously I get Claude Code with that. And I really like Claude because you get a lot of reusable skills. So oftentimes I find myself using cursor when I'm developing a lot of things, but when I'm doing something like what I'm going to do now, convert pages, I like to use Claude Code because I actually have a skill. And yes, by the way, I will include this skill in the description below. So what I'm going to do is that for the sign up page, right, for the sign up HTML page that you see here, so actually here, let me just remove all this right here. All right, so we're just going to focus on this sign up page right here. I don't know why it's coming over here, but the sign up page right here. And then for the app and onboarding, we want to focus on this sign up page. So basically, we want to translate this sign up HTML into this React Native design. So I'm going to come over here into Claude, and I'm going to go ahead and input my prompt right now. Okay, so in my prompt, I said, please convert the HTML in, and I tag the page, which is basically this HTML page here, to a, well, I said N, but to a React Native. So my prompt here for cursor, I'm basically saying, please convert the HTML in, and I tag the sign up HTML page that's right here to React Native code for this app page in, and then I tagged this sign up page in the onboarding. And then what I did here is I just did the /HTML to Expo RN because in cursor, I actually have this set up as a skill. So as you see here, if I hit slash, right, these are different skills that I have. So I have a color palette preview skill, and then I also have this HTML to Expo React Native skill right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just send it here. And we still have the Expo Go server running. So from here, we're just gonna go ahead and let Claude do its thing. It's gonna go ahead and modify this TSX, TypeScript, JavaScript code right here. And it's gonna go ahead and basically rebuild what I have here in HTML here into React Native code. So we're gonna go ahead and let Claude do its thing. Okay, so just like that, Claude went ahead and it finished the conversion. And as you see here in the mobile app, we now have a sign-up page. Right? So now, of course, as I click here, right, this isn't functional, or actually it is. Never mind, it is. So what you would want to do from here is that if you have an authentication kind of backend layer or something like that, this is where you can actually start to actually wire it in. So in my case, this is actually where I would use cursor, and I would go ahead and I would actually start setting up all of those kind of backend functions. Right? So right here, if I click sign up, right, it just moves to the goals page. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and reload this here. And I just have this prototype set up to just always come back to the sign up page. I'm going to go ahead and have it convert the goals page. And then we're going to go ahead and do the main page. So I'm going to come back into here and I'm going to do the exact same thing again. All right, so my prompt looks pretty similar. Again, I'm saying please convert the HTML in the goals page to Expo React Native code here. And I tagged, again, the same skill file. So I'm going to go ahead and just let Claude handle that, and we'll see how it looks like. Again, this is the design that we're going to have for this goals page. And then lastly, we're just going to go ahead and finish up this home page here. All right, so Claude Code went ahead and implemented the goals page design that we see here. All right, if we come back, we can see that it looks very, very similar. All right, so that's really cool. And it enabled these select boxes. And again, this is where you're going to want to put in your logic. So lastly, let's go ahead and now implement the main page. All right, and here you have it. So AI went ahead and it also translated this page as well. And it gave us the same footer items here. So we have today, upcoming, search, and browse. So as you see here, it has also this explore, but I'm sure that's just a simple routing issue. But basically, this is pretty good, right? So what we're able to do here is that the designs that we have in HTML, we can actually easily just convert it right over using Claude. And then from there, it's a lot easier to then build all of the dynamic content, figure out all your rules, right? So for example, if I just kind of restart this app, you know, from here, I can wire in all the authentication, I can wire in routing. Right, same here. Maybe I only want the user to be able to only select one of these options, or maybe multiple of these options are okay. And then when I hit continue, maybe I want to send this to a backend, or maybe I want to store the preferences locally, whatever the case may be, right? But the most important thing is that we're actually able to move from design into mobile page pretty easily. And then from here, it's a lot easier to actually go ahead and just have AI go ahead and refactor the page, clean it all up, and make it look and function the way that we want to. All right. So anyway, that's it, right? That's pretty much my process again from going from UI UX design. My main tool for doing this is UX Pilot. So basically going from UX Pilot HTML into actual React Native code in Expo. That's my process. So if you're building an app, definitely hope this helps you. With that being said, thanks so much for checking out the video. Do look out for future videos. And do check the link in the description for all of my resources when it comes to workflows, agents, as well as all of my development guides for building apps just like this. So that being said, thanks again for checking out the video, and I'll see you in the next one.